application, we can get the details of the services by using service registry. It is called as a DB of APIs or a DB of services. There are commercial service registries are available and open source service registries also available. PCF having a PCF service registry, AWS having AWS service registry. Those are commercial. Now, our Spring framework also provided one service registry for free of cost, which is called Eureka. Eureka is one of the service registry we got from the Spring Cloud. That's fine. So we are developing backend APIs. Those backend APIs may communicate with the database, may communicate with another REST API, may communicate with the third-party REST API. Inter-service communication, external service communication also will be there. Right. All the backend APIs we have developed will be registered with the service registry, which is called Eureka server. After that, now it is very difficult to manage all the APIs in the backend. We can't provide the backend API URLs to the public. Hey, these all are the backend APIs I have. Please access whatever the API you want. Like that, we don't expose all our backend APIs to the public at a time. What we will do is, we are going to provide single entry point for our backend APIs. We are going to provide single entry point for our backend APIs. So that is API gateway. API gateway acts as a mediator between client requests and backend API. In the API gateway, we are going to write the filters and routings. Filters are used to perform pre-processing and post-processing of a request. Filters are going to perform pre-processing and post-processing of a request. And in the API gateway, we are going to write the routings concept. Routings are used to forward the request to a particular API in the backend. Client is sending a request to the API gateway. Clients can directly access our backend APIs. Clients cannot access our backend APIs directly. Clients cannot access our backend APIs directly. Client will send a request to API gateway. API gateway is the entry point for backend APIs, single entry point. If client want to access any API which is available in the backend, he has to access the API gateway first. In the API gateway, we will create a filter. That filter is responsible to perform pre-processing of the request. Request validation can be implemented by using the filter. If a token is coming in the request, then only I will forward the request to the particular API. If the token is not coming in the request, I will stop that request. Routing, which request should go to which API in the backend, that will done by routings concept. Are you clear with this microservices architecture? Are you clear with this microservices architecture? Could you please confirm, all of you? Is this the standard architecture or it is generalized architecture? It is a standard architecture or it is a generalized architecture? Every company will follow the same architecture. Huh? Every company will follow the same architecture. Huh? No, most of the companies will follow this architecture. It is generalized architecture for microservices. It is not the standard architecture for microservices. Alright, after that, so we have seen APIs will contain the business logic. Service registry is used to maintain list of services available in our application. Backend APIs should register with the service registry. API gateway will act as a single entry point for all the backend APIs. API gateway contains filters, routing. Filters are used to validate the request and response. Routings are used to forward incoming request to the particular backend API. Now guys, so we discussed about what is monolith, what are the advantages of the monolith, disadvantages of the monolith, what is microservice, and advantages of the microservice and disadvantages of the microservices also we have developed. Now, we don't have any fixed architecture for the microservices. Mostly we will see service registry, services, inter-service communication, API gateway. Service registry is used to provide how many services are available in the project. I will share you these notes also guys for the microservices. Service registry acts as a DB of services available in the project. It provides the details of all the services. We know already what is that. Services, backend APIs, API gateway. API gateway is used to manage our backend APIs of the project. API gateway acts as a mediator between end users and backend APIs. API gateway can filter the logic to decide request processing. API gateway will contain routing logic. So which request should go to which REST API, that can be decided by using API gateway. API gateway also will be registered with the service registry. Okay, mini project implementation by using microservices architecture. Now, guys, in this mini project, what are the things that we are going to implement? I'm going to implement a service registry, so which is called as Eureka server, and the second one, I'm going to use admin server, and I'm going to implement Jipkin server. Total how many servers I'm going to take for my microservices mini project, guys? Total how many servers I'm going to take to implement my project? I'm taking service registry. It is a Eureka server. What is the purpose of service registry? It is used to register all the APIs available in our application. Now next one, boot admin server. So do you know what is the purpose of Spring Boot admin server? Do you know what is the purpose of Spring Boot admin server? To monitor and manage boot applications, actuators. So to monitor and manage boot applications, we are going to use admin server. What is the purpose of Jipkin server? Distributed log tracing. I want to perform distributed log tracing for my application. For that, I'm going to use Jipkin server. So here I'm going to create 3 projects, guys. First one is service registry, which is Eureka server. Second one is boot admin server to monitor and manage boot applications. Then third one is Jipkin server. It is used for distributed log tracing. Jipkin server, which is used for distributed log tracing. Clear with my point? Now let's create these applications, guys. Let me create these applications. Let me choose one folder. Here I'm going to take it as a separate folder. I need to take, I will take it as microservices mini project. This is my workspace folder. I'm going to implement the project in this workspace. Yes, right. A new folder I'm using microservices mini project. In that project I'm going to create all these things. Guys, observe carefully how I'm going to implement these applications. It's very important. Now first thing, let me develop service registry application, that is Eureka server. File new Spring Starter project. Let me take this as 01 service registry application. Java 8 version I'm choosing, and group ID in .ashok.it, and package name also I'm choosing as in .ashok.it. Perfect. Click on next. Spring Boot version, the latest version is 2.7.0. 2.7 version came into market. Let me go with the old version, that is 2.6.8. Click on next. Back. Here we need to select the dependencies, guys. Okay, so which project I'm creating first? Service registry project I'm creating first. So for that we need to select a dependency called Eureka server dependency. I'm selecting Eureka server dependency. I have selected, and I will select DevTools, and I will select Web Starter. That's it. So 3 dependencies I have selected, mainly Eureka server I have taken. Next, finish. Now see, my service registry application is getting created. I will give the steps also, don't worry, guys. So I have created my service registry application. Go to pom.xml. You see that what is the new dependency we have added? The remaining dependencies we know already. Web Starter. This is the new dependency which got added, which is Spring Cloud Starter Netflix Eureka Server. Spring Cloud Starter Netflix Eureka Server. That means Eureka Server is given by Netflix. That Netflix is part of Spring Cloud. Spring Cloud Starter Netflix Eureka Server dependency added for this project. Now here, in order to represent this is a Eureka Server project, we need to write one annotation called enable Eureka Server. We are going to write one annotation called enable Eureka Server. That means I want to represent this project as a Eureka Server project, which is going to act as a service registry. So let me create this as a Eureka Server project. Enable Eureka Server. That's fine. Now go to this properties file. I'm changing the properties file to YAML file, application.yaml. Now here I'm writing server.port. Port number I am giving 8761. That is the default port number for Eureka servers, guys. 8761 I have given as a Eureka port number. And next one, register with Eureka. Eureka dot register with Eureka. Eureka dot client register with Eureka false. Now this application should register with the Eureka, or this application is acting as a Eureka. Guys, whatever the service registry I have created, this application should register with the Eureka server. This application should not register with the Eureka server. This application is acting as a Eureka project. This should not register with the Eureka. So that's the reason I'm writing Eureka client register with Eureka is equal to false. So this application should not register with Eureka. If you see the diagram, other APIs should register with the Eureka. This application should not register with Eureka. Service registry providing the Eureka for us. So that's why I'm setting port number 8761, which is a default port number for Eureka. Now here I'm writing Eureka client register with Eureka as a false. Very good. Now let's run this application. Run as boot application. Run as a boot application. Run as a boot application. It is using the port number 8761, which is the default. And I'm telling that don't register this application with Eureka. Eureka client register with Eureka is false. Once this application started, we can access Eureka dashboard from our browser. We can see the information related to Eureka server and what are the instances are registered. What are the instances are registered with Eureka. Okay, this application got started. It's running now. Oh my god. Yeah, so it is giving some error. 1 second, let me update my Maven project. Maven, update the project, force update. Updated the Maven project. Then run it. Run as boot app. Yeah, on what port number it is running now? 8761. Let's go to here. Let's access this project. Localhost colon 8761. Now can you see Eureka is displaying, Eureka dashboard is displaying now. Can you see that Eureka dashboard is displaying for us now? Come on guys. Eureka dashboard is displaying for us. Instances currently registered with Eureka. No instances are available. Currently, there is no application registered with the service registry. Just our service registry project is created, which is Eureka server. So what are the things I have done to create the Eureka server, guys? What are the things that I have done to create the Eureka server project? I have given the steps also. Steps to develop service registry application Eureka server. Create a service registry application with the below dependency Eureka server. Configure Enable Eureka server annotation at the boot start class. Configure below properties in the YML. Server port number and this property also we are giving. Now you may ask a question, Ashok, why are you giving the port number as a 8761? 8761 is the default port number for the Eureka. If service registry project port is 8761, then clients can discover the service registry and will register automatically with the service registry. If service registry project running on any other port number, then we have to register clients with the service registry manually. So I have configured the port number as 8761 so that client applications can auto register with the service registry. So whatever the steps we need to follow to develop Eureka server application, I have given. So can you develop by following these steps also? Can you develop the project by using these steps now? Yes. With this, we have created one service registry application running on the port number 8761. Next one, I'm going to create one more server, guys, which is called new Spring Starter project. This project I'm going to create as 02 boot admin server. Spring Boot admin server, which is used to monitor and manage our application. I told you service registry ready and admin server I need to create, which is used to monitor and manage our boot application. I have taken admin server. Okay, boot admin server application. Next, here dependencies. So for admin server, we need to select one dependency called Spring Boot admin. What is the dependency I'm writing? Spring Boot admin dependency I'm writing. Okay. Now this admin server application also we can make as a client for the Eureka. If you want, you can register admin server as a client for Eureka, otherwise not required. Leave it. So I'm selecting dev tools and I'm selecting admin server. Type the dependency here, Spring Boot admin. Actually this admin server dependency not from the Spring Boot, guys. It is a third-party project called Code Centric. It is a community project to manage and monitor your boot applications. It provides a UI on top of the boot actuator endpoints. So admin server project will provide how Eureka providing a UI to monitor our applications. Similarly, admin server also will provide a UI to monitor and manage our applications. Alright, now click on next, click on finish. So my admin server project got created. Admin server project got created. Okay, go to pom.xml. Go to pom.xml. Now see here, what is the dependency we have added? Boot admin server dependency added and dev tools dependency also added. Boot admin server dependency came and dev tools dependency also came. I think we forgot to add the web starter. You can add the web starter also. Spring Boot starter web. Spring Boot starter web dependency also we can add. Alright. Now how to represent this project as a admin server project? Now here go to this start class, write the annotation, enable admin server. Enable admin server. So this project I am representing as a admin server project. Admin server project. Go to resources. I am converting the properties file to YAML file. YML file. I am configuring server.port. Admin server application port number I am giving as 1111. Eureka running on 8761 and admin server running on the port number 1111. Let me update this project. Nav and update the project. Force update. Force update. Done. Run this project. Run as a boot application. Run as a boot application. Right. Admin server project started. What is the port number, guys? It is running on 8080 only. I think Whatever I have configured, it is not considering that port number. Let me stop it. Let me update my Maven project. Let me update the admin server, refresh, Maven, update, force update. Let's do the Maven update for that. Yes, it's completed now. Run as boot app. Admin server running on 8080 only. Okay, let's try. Localhost colon 8080. Localhost colon 8080. Now, can you see that? Are we able to get the admin UI? Currently, any application registered with admin UI, how many instances are registered? 0. How many applications are registered? 0. So that means, do you have anything with admin register, admin UI? Do you have anything registered in the admin UI? Currently, nothing is available in the admin UI because we have not developed our client applications. Once we develop our client applications now, it is going to register with admin UI. Okay, currently no application is available. Port number I have configured 1111. It is not accepting that, guys. 1 second. Why? I think Maven project is not getting updated. Clear that, refresh. It has to take that Maven update the project. I configured 1111. It is not considering that. It's update issue. Project clean karo. Run as boot app. Check karo now. No man. So we'll see that later how to update. It is still starting with 8080 only. We will change that later. Okay, fine. So with this, we are good with Eureka server. Eureka server running on the port number 8761. Admin server running on the port number 8080. Currently, is there any application registered with Eureka? No. Is there any application registered with admin server now? Is there any application registered with Eureka? Is there any application registered with the admin server as of now? Nothing is available. No application registered with Eureka, no application registered with the admin. So 2 servers are ready for us. Eureka server is ready. Admin server is also ready. Now we need to go for Jipkin server to do the distributed log tracing. Jipkin server we need to download as a jar file, guys. Go to Google, download Jipkin server jar. Download Jipkin server jar file. Okay, quick start to open Jipkin. In the Java, there is a file called latest release available. So if you click on this latest release, then it is going to download the Jipkin server jar file. Can you see my Jipkin server jar is downloaded? You can also download the Jipkin jar file from here. You can download the Jipkin jar file from here. All of you can download that. From this URL, you can download Jipkin jar file. So Jipkin server, you no need to create as a project. You need to download that as a jar file. Okay. Once you have downloaded the Jipkin jar file, go to your command prompt. Go to your command prompt and execute Jipkin server. Java space -jar space Jipkin server.jar. Now I am running my Jipkin server project. Jipkin is also a Spring Boot application which is going to run on the port number 9411. Let me open my Jipkin server. Localhost colon 9411. Localhost colon 9411. Now can you see Jipkin UI is coming for us? Now can we see Jipkin UI is coming for us? Yes or no? So total how many projects we have ready? Total how many projects we have with us now? Total how many projects we have with us now? Total 3 projects we have. 2 we have developed. Jipkin we have downloaded from the website. Jipkin we have downloaded as a jar file. Okay. Service registry we have developed. Steps to develop service registry application with Eureka server. Now next one, steps to develop a boot admin server project. Steps to develop Spring Boot admin server project. Steps to develop Spring Boot admin server project. What are the steps? Create Spring Boot application with below dependencies. Create boot application with below dependencies. What are the dependencies? Web starter, dev tools, web starter, dev tools, admin server. Admin server. Second step, configure @enable admin server annotation at boot start class. Configure the port number. Configure the port number and run the application. Configure the port number and run the application. So let me configure port as some 1111. Access admin server UI using below URL. After application started, after your application started, access admin server UI using app URL. So which is something like this. http:// some whatever the port number we configure, with this we are going to access. Are you clear with the Eureka server project development and admin server project development? Eureka server is going to maintain list of services which we have in the project. What are the services we have in the project that can be maintained by using Eureka? What is the purpose of admin server? Admin server is used to monitor and manage our applications. And what is the purpose of Jipkin server? Jipkin server is used to track how much time the REST API has taken to execute. So application will have a log messages, right? Those logs we can track by using Jipkin server. Jipkin is for tracing purpose. How much time the REST API has taken, that we can trace by using Jipkin. Admin server to monitor actuators of our application. Eureka server will provide you how many services are available in our project. Are you able to understand the purpose of these three? Eureka server, admin server, Jipkin server. Now, how to work with the Jipkin server? Steps to work with the Jipkin server. Steps to work with the Jipkin server. Download the Jipkin server jar file from the Jipkin server website. Download Jipkin server jar from website. I will give you this URL. This is the URL where you can click on latest release and download the jar. Run the Jipkin server jar file from the command prompt. Run the Jipkin server jar from command prompt. Okay, what is the command? Java space -jar space jar file name. Jar file name. Jipkin server will run by default on 9411 port number. Jipkin server will run on the port number. Jipkin server will run on 9411 port number. Access the Jipkin server dashboard in the browser. Access Jipkin server dashboard in browser. What is the URL? It is already running on the port number 9411 localhost :9411. Understood? How to work with the Jipkin server? How to work with the Jipkin server? Clear? Now you see Eureka server is available, admin server is available, Jipkin server is available. So you know the purpose of all the three. Eureka server will maintain list of services available in our application. Eureka server is going to maintain list of services available in our application. Eureka provided this user interface for us. Admin server is provided UI which is used to monitor and manage our applications. Now, Jipkin server is used to trace the logs of our REST APIs. Jipkin server is used to trace the logs of our REST API. Very good. Now, guys, observe, I am running 3 cloud projects, guys. I'm running 3 cloud projects. One is Eureka server, and the second one is admin server, and the third one is Jipkin server. So 3 cloud projects I am running. So this is my Eureka, this is Eureka, this is admin server, Eureka server and admin server will be available. Then here we have Jipkin server also. All these 3 are cloud projects only. Eureka server, admin server, and we have Jipkin server. 3 projects I have. Next up, I want to create one REST API, guys. I want to create one REST API. Let me take it as a greet API. Very simple REST API I am going to take now. A greet API. Now, whatever the greet API I am going to create, this greet API will register with the Eureka server. This greet API will register with the admin server. This greet API will register with the Jipkin server also. That means my greet API, that is the actual backend REST API I am going to develop. This greet API is going to act as a client for how many servers? Greet API will act as a client for how many servers? 3 servers. My greet API is going to act as a client for 3 servers. So here my greet API can be called as Eureka client, can be called as admin client, can be called as a Jipkin client. Can I say like this? My greet API is going to act as a Eureka client, my greet API acting as a admin client, my greet API acting as a Jipkin client. Alright, fine. Now, next, let me develop my greet API. Before going to develop the greet API, all of you clear with this? How to create service registry application, how to create admin server application, and how to work with the Jipkin server. How to work with Jipkin server. I have given the steps also. If you follow this document, you can also develop the project on your own. Steps to develop service registry application, Eureka server. Eureka server dependency you need to add. Eureka server dependency. If you want, you can add web starter. Eureka server dependency, web starter, and you can add dev tools. These are the dependencies we are adding. Configuring enable Eureka server in the boot start class. Configure these things in the YML file. Right. Once application started, access the Eureka dashboard from the URL. Now you see Eureka dashboard is ready. Currently there is no instance registered with the Eureka, no application registered with the Eureka as of now. That is good. The next one, steps to develop admin server project. Why admin server? To monitor the REST APIs by using actuators. My REST API will contain an actuator. I want to monitor my REST API actuator endpoints at one place. For that I am going for admin server. In order to create the admin server, we are using admin server, which is a community project from CodeCentric. So I am adding web starter dependency, I am adding dev tools dependency, I am adding admin server. This admin server came from CodeCentric. This is not from the Spring Boot directly. It is a third-party project we are using in the Spring Boot. How to represent our project as an admin server project? We are configuring enable admin server annotation at the boot start class. Then we are configuring the port number and running the application. So currently it is taking my port number as 8080. Later I will change that. Once this admin server is started, access the dashboard. Is there any admin client registered as of now? No application is registered as of now. Admin server UI is available. Very good. So we are able to access the dashboard of the admin server from this URL. Now third server that I am going to take is a Jipkin server. Steps to work with the Jipkin server. Now do I need to develop a project for the Jipkin server? Jipkin server project is available in the jar file format. Do I need to develop the project for the Jipkin server, or Jipkin server jar is already available? Jipkin server already available. So I'm going to official website of the Jipkin. I'm downloading Jipkin jar file. Okay. So go to this official website of the Jipkin. Then there you can see latest release under Java. If you have Java 8 or higher installed in your system, then you just click on this latest release. It is going to download the jar for you. Once you have downloaded the jar of the Jipkin, you can run the Jipkin jar file by using this command, java space -jar space jar file name. Once you run that jar, Jipkin, can I say this is a banner of the Jipkin? How the Spring Boot banner will be printed, in the same way Jipkin banner also printing, it is also a Spring Boot project, guys. Now, it is running on the port number 9411. Now I am able to access the dashboard of the Jipkin by using 9411. Perfect. So this is the URL to access the Jipkin dashboard. So with this, all the three servers are ready. Cloud concepts. Eureka server is ready, admin server is ready, Jipkin server is also ready. Now what is the next step? I need to develop an application which is a Greet API. Greet API will act as a Eureka client, Greet API will act as a admin client, Greet API will act as a Jipkin client also. Samjha? Alright. Now, what are the steps I am going to follow to create my Greet API? Guys, all of you observe, I am stopping all my applications now. I am going to create one Greet API which is going to act as a client for Eureka, client for admin, client for Jipkin. Chalo. Let's develop this. This is our actual backend REST API, guys. New Spring Starter project. Let me give this number as a 03. I'm taking it as a Greet API. I'm taking it as a Greet API. Maven project. Click on next. Now, coming to dependency, several dependencies we need to add here, guys. Observe. I have added DevTools and I have added web dependency. Now I need to add Eureka client because it should act as a client for Eureka. Eureka discovery client. It should act as a client for admin. Now I am going to add a admin client. And it should act as a client for Jipkin. So I am going to select as a Jipkin client. Now do you understand why I have selected Eureka client, Jipkin client and admin client? My API should act as a Eureka client. For that Eureka client dependency I have added. My project should act as a admin client dependency I have added. My project should act as a client for Jipkin. So Jipkin client also I have added. Along with them, I have selected DevTools and Web Starter. Along with this, I'm going to select one dependency called Slate dependency. Along with the Jipkin, I'm going to use a Slate. When you have the Slate dependency, your REST API logs will have a trace ID, span ID. Then you can track them by using Jipkin. So when you want to trace your REST API execution by using Jipkin, that REST API should have a Slate dependency. So I have added a dependency called Slate dependency. Understood? Along with this, I'm going to add actuators because why we are using admin server? Admin server we are using to monitor our application. What can we monitor by using this admin server? Actuators of your REST API. So actuators will provide the production ready features of your application. So those actuators I am adding for my boot. So total, how many dependencies I have added? DevTools dependency, Slate dependency, Jipkin client, boot actuator, admin client, Eureka client, Web Starter. Total how many? 3 plus 3, 6 plus 7. 7 dependencies I have added. Total how many dependencies I have added, guys? Total I have added 7 dependencies. Click on next, click on finish. Heavyweight project. Because 7 dependencies we have added. If I want to communicate with the database, then database starter, JPA starter, database driver, I need to add it. Now go to pom.xml file of our project. Now, can you see actuator starter? Can you see web starter? Can you see admin starter client? Can you see Slate Jipkin? Can you see Eureka client? Can you see Slate? Slate dependency is used to generate the logs with some IDs, guys. So for Spring Boot application, logs will be generated. For the logs, we are going to assign one ID by using Sleuth. Okay. Now let's go to resources, convert the properties file to YML file. Now I have configured YML. First let me configure server.port. Okay guys, this one I'm configuring the port number as 9090. Now I'm configuring some name, spring.application.name. I'm configuring the name as a greet API. And I need to register this with admin client. Admin server is there. I need to register this application with the admin server application. For that, admin server is currently running on what port number for us? Localhost :1111 is the port number of the admin server. So first one is the server port number. Embedded server, I want to run the greet API on the embedded server. For that I am using 9090. Then I am running a Spring application, so I am configuring the name for this application. This application is a greet API. This application will automatically register with the Eureka. If the Eureka port number is 8761, client will auto register with Eureka. If a client is not registering with Eureka automatically, then you can configure the Eureka URL also. Eureka dot register client URL. You can configure that also. I have given that property here. If the Eureka not running on the 8761 port number, then you need to configure that manually. This is the URL you need to use to configure your application with Eureka. Eureka client service URL default zone. Currently my Eureka running on the port number 8761. So this is embedded server port number. This is my application name. This property is used to register my application with the admin server. This property is used to register my application with the Eureka server. And I want to enable actuators also for my application. Actuators also I want to enable for my application. How to configure the actuators for our application? management.endpoints.web.exposure.include. management.endpoints.web.exposure.include. Now I am going to give star. Star means all the actuator endpoints I am going to enable. Star means all the actuator endpoints we are going to enable. If Eureka port number is 8761, this property is optional, guys. You no need to write this property if your project is on the 8761. Some people may ask, sir, if I change the port number of the Eureka, then what I need to do? You need to configure this property. If it is 8761, you no need to configure this property. Now, are you able to understand what are the properties I have written in the greet API? Server port number I have configured, application name I have configured, client URL I have, admin server URL I have configured, Eureka server URL I have configured, actuator endpoints I have included. Samjha? All the properties. It is going to enable actuator endpoints for my application. It is going to register my application with Eureka server. It is going to register my application with the admin server. It is the name of my application. It is the port number of my application. Very good. Now, here in this application, I want to represent this as a Eureka client. So for that, first I am going to write @enable discovery client. @enable discovery client. In this situation, Eureka URL not required, guys. Yeah, it's already going to register 8761. Enable discovery client. Enable discovery client. What is the purpose of enable discovery client? I'm telling to this application to register with Eureka server. Admin server registration already we have configured. Actuators also already we have configured. Let me create one REST controller, new class. So here, let me create one REST controller with a name called greet REST controller. Let me create one REST controller with a name called greet REST controller. So I'm representing this as a REST controller by using @REST controller annotation, public string greet message. Public string greet message. Now I will say string message is equal to good morning. String message is equal to good morning. Then I'm going to return that message. In this REST controller, I will take a logger, private logger from SLF4J. Logger is equal to logger factory dot get logger of this greet REST controller. Perfect. Logger is equal to logger factory dot get logger. Now let me write a logger dot info. Greet message execution started. Greet message execution start. So this is my log message. Now here I am going to say logger dot info greet message execution end. Greet message execution start, greet message execution end, that I am writing as a logger. So how I am doing that logging? I am getting a logger object by using SLF4J. Then I created a logger factory.get logger. For this REST controller class, I have created a logger. The default log level in the Spring Boot is info level. The default log level is the info level. Okay. Logger.info greet message execution started. String message is equal to good morning. Logger.info execution end. Just I am writing the info. Method started, method ended. It is returning a message. This is my REST controller. So with this, are we good with our REST API? This method should be binded to HTTP request. So get mapping /greet. This method should be binded to one HTTP request. This method is binded to HTTP request. Now tell me, can I run the greet API directly, or I need to run all the 4 applications now? So total how many applications we have? 4 applications we have. Eureka server, admin server, Jipkin server, greet API. I need to run the 4 applications. So first, which one I am going to run? First I am going to run service registry, boot app. Service registry application I am running. It is going to run on the port number 8761. Now, look at this. 8761. Refresh Eureka dashboard. Yes, Eureka started. Is there any Eureka client registered as of now? Nothing registered, just Eureka client started. Yeah, admin server ka issue hai, port number it is not taking. Maven update project, force update I have done. Resources application.yml I have configured server port, still it is not taking. Run as boot app. Let's try this time. What will happen to this? It is running with 8080 only, guys. Yeah. Now admin server running with 8080. Then fine. Next one, Jipkin is already running. Jipkin is running on the port number 9411. Very good. Next, let's go to our greet API. Let me do a small change here. As it is running on 8080, let me give that. Admin's project running on 8080, so I'm giving the URL as admin server URL. Port number of the greet API, application name for the greet API, register with the admin server which is running on this URL, register with the Eureka server which is running on this URL, enable actuator endpoints. Alright. Maven update the Maven project greet API. This greet API acting as a client for how many applications, guys? Greet API acting as a client for how many applications? 3 applications. Okay, let's run this. Right click, run as greet API. Right click, run as a greet API. Right click, run as a Greet API. Greet API running on what port number? Greet API running on the port number 9090. Chalo, go to Eureka, refresh. Greet API registered with Eureka server. Guys, come on. Greet API registered with Eureka server? Yes or no? Greet API registered with the Eureka. Go to admin server. Greet API registered with admin server also. Greet API registered with the admin server also. Go to Jipkin. Currently, is it